My name is Christelle Kwizera. I'm a young female engineer, social entrepreneur, born in Rwanda, raised in Rwanda. I'm a very passionate activist, a social activist, in particular any issues relating to the environment, to youth and gender issues. I started my company when I was 20. Before that, I had been very active as a young person. Every vacation for me was an opportunity to do something new. So when I was at university, because of my involvement and all that, the former president of my university invited me to go have a coffee, and he's like, Christelle, if you had $60,000, what would you do with it? So my biggest concern was youth employment. How can you create jobs with a company or an enterprise or an organization that I can start with the $60,000 that we could raise in Oklahoma. So as we researched and thought about it with other students at Oklahoma Christian, I came across articles about people being killed by crocodiles in eastern Rwanda. So this broke my heart because you had all these women saying that every day they send their kids to get water, they have to, face the possibility that their kid will not even come home. At the time, I decided, okay, we're gonna do a water project. So we ended up raising $75,000. We partnered with the Ministry of Infrastructure, and we went drilling boreholes in the eastern, in Ngoma and Bugesera. We drilled 13 boreholes. So I started thinking, how can we do better projects that can survive, supported by users and not NGOs. So out of trying to answer that question, I founded the company Access Rwanda. So from a summer project, before I went back to school, I founded the company. I hired 5 employees, so 5 young people who had been working with me throughout the summer. I gave them full-time jobs. Then I went back to school to think about, how am I gonna make this business run? So now we've grown. So from the 5 employees, we're now 61 employees, and we're still kicking, making things happen in the water sector. People who are suffering these issues are humans, like me and you. They have dreams and aspirations. And unfortunately, lack of access to safe water is killing their dreams. Seeing the real faces of people going through that and not being aware that this water is a silent killer for them, it moved me to action. You see the faces and then you learn how big the crisis is. The Global Citizen Award was an extremely good news to receive. It comes with a lot of money, $250,000. We have a huge, ambitious vision to be impacting over 30 million lives by 2030 and to create 13,000 permanent jobs through our interventions. We want to be in 12 countries. But the award coming to Access Rwanda really shows what you've been saying, that water is the enabler for development. It moves people out of poverty and it creates massive opportunities and potentials to create jobs in rural areas. I know our name says Access Rwanda, but we're probably going to rebrand to Access Africa because we've always had a Pan-African vision. It doesn't do anybody good to sit with a good solution and not scale it. So I want to create market viable solutions that can spread like wildfire to meet the level of the crisis in Africa, because 400 million need our solutions right now across Africa. So we need to scale quickly to meet that demand as much as we can. So this award money, it's money you don't really plan on, but when it comes in, you get to check off so many needs. And now we're reaching 70,000 people a day with clean water. If I get more money, so what you may call overfunding, that just means I get to reach more people because our team is always ready to deploy. We're always under capacity. Next year, we're going to be raising more money. We haven't done the full fundraising target yet, but it's going to be above 1.5 million, maybe even up to $3 million, because we want to establish a facility to be able to produce, to go from 4 mini-grids a month to 100 mini-grids per month. And we want to have a facility in Rwanda so that when we scale to other countries, we can scale out of Rwanda. So there's always that Rwanda attachment and Rwanda presence. So that's when we tell investors, we tell donors, we tell grant givers, as a company, we're ready to bring our solution, not just in a few districts in Rwanda, but all districts of Rwanda and to other countries in Africa. Our commitment is very clear: water and people. So when the crisis happens, there was no question if we're going to lay off people. Absolutely not. We don't hire people just because they have experience. We hire them because they have the right spirit to fit into the organization. Then we train them to have the right expertise for the position they've applied for. 2020 was the year to fail and cry and look at how the world can be unfair, but 2021 should be a year to take risks. So I would advise all young people, really go for it, take a risk, implement your ideas, and don't be lazy. It's not that I was born with these gifts, but I used them from very early on and trained myself to know these things. So now it's paying off in my career. Their self-development, their growth, it's in your hands. Nobody else is gonna grow you, nobody else is gonna develop you. It's up to you to implement your ideas and grow your own skill set.